What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Childish. We are back at it again with the next installment of Educate and Dominate, that one-on-one interview series where we talk to the best of the best and get that insight so we can take that and take your game to the next level. My next guest is none other than a special one that I have in mind because his clan, his original clan, is very dear to me as I followed him through the forums coming up. So let's go ahead and welcome Mal to the scene from Clan Exodus. What's going on, Mal?
Hey, Childish, how's it going?
It is good, sir. It is good. So for those that don't know, he is the clan leader of Clan Exodus, and that was formerly Clan Ubiquitous from the App Invasion forums. And for those of you guys that have followed me since day one, I told you guys I was a big advocate of the App Invasion group, and they definitely helped me throughout the way of some of my first games, Clash of Clans, Brave Frontier. I eventually found Brave, from Brave Frontier to Summoner's War, and found the group there a very great quality of players, very knowledgeable. So I'm super excited to have them here today. So Matt, let's go ahead and get into that since they do know that you are part of the group. From what I understand, you weren't the original leader. It kind of broke into two. So can you kind of go ahead and explain, the Clan Exodus, what they were then and what they are now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of a long story. In fact, this guild is one of the oldest guilds in this game, I believe. Like you said earlier, it did start as Ubiquitous on App Invasion, and I believe it was run by some people may remember Gravity Bong. I wasn't part of the guild at the time. In fact, I barely knew what the game was at the time. And I joined App Invasion when I started playing the game itself, Summer's War. I came from Brave Frontier myself as well,
Yeah, buddy.
and I was just looking for a new game. Exactly. And I found this game, and as a gamer, once you play a game and you start liking it, you're gonna go online, you're gonna look up for these forums, try to improve your game to the best of your ability. So found App Invasion and noticed Ubiquitous was the official App Invasion guild. And at the time, I wasn't very good. Wasn't qualified to join them. And eventually, it seemed like there was a change within their guild. A lot of people went inactive, so uh, eventually the guild leader just wasn't coming on anymore. So they had to make a new guild. So at the time, Yesel created the guild Exodus to pull in the remaining Ubiquitous members. And shortly after that, that's when I actually joined the guild. And from then on, I just became more and more involved in the guild. And when Guild Wars came out, there were too many members in the guild for everyone to participate. And being that it's a great big community and we want everyone to be able to farm those points, Yesel decided to create a second guild, so Exodus number 2. And he felt that he didn't want to make it seem like he was booting out the lower ranking players just because they weren't good enough to compete in the main guild. So he actually left the guild and created the second guild himself. So technically, Yesel's still around with us. He's still partaking. He's still participating, but he is leading that second guild. And this is essentially when I took over, and I'm currently, leading the guild.
Good deal. And so, as far as you were talking about, getting into Brave Frontier and some of this were, I'm assuming those weren't your first games. So why don't you give me a small little history as far as, when you got into gaming first off, and then how you got your way into the Brave Frontier and Summoners War.
As with any other gamer, it's a long story. So, I mean, back when I was younger, I was really into computer games. One of the first biggest games that I really got into was Diablo, the original
Yeah,
one.
buddy. Oh man, we're
Oh
one. We're
yeah,
one together, baby.
in
That
Diablo number one.
the soundtrack of that Diablo number one. I can sit there in that town for days and just listen to that acoustic guitar just go in my head over and over.
Oh,
It's addicting.
it just brings back memories. I mean,
I'm
with the
telling you.
Smith, he was scary when I was playing, just, as a young kid. And then when they released Diablo 2 with the advent of BattleNet, that just opened up
Game over.
brand new world. It was one of the first, games where you can actually play with all of your friends without needing to LAN or sit beside them or bring your computer over or whatever the case it may be. But yeah, I mean that just opened up the world of gaming to me. I mean, I used to play a little bit of games before that here and there, but Diablo really kind of just opened it up and got me really into gaming. And from then on, I started playing. Uh, I don't know if you've heard of it, Ragnarok. It was based in a Korean game by Gravity, and it was like an anime style MMORPG, and I played that for a really long time. But I mean, throughout the years, there's so many games now. It's so hard just to list it off the top of my head. But obviously, as you grow up, you have less and less time to play. So I thought I'd start to pick up some mobile games so they're not too intensive and I can play them on the go. And oh, look at it now, I'm spending just as much time on Summoner's War as I was before on other games. But what can you do?
Right, right, right. So getting into Summoner's War, we all have that crazy story that lets us excel and jump from that, fighter stage or whatnot, moving on to the Guardian ranks as you do. What were some of the key things that happened along your path in your journey through the game that allow you to get to where you're at today?
Well, I actually pulled a Chloe fairly early in my career at Summoner's War, but I wasn't really good back then, and I really didn't know what the hype was with Chloe. At the time, I was like, "Oh, what's so good about her?" I was very close to foddering her to my arena at the time.
Hmm.
It's one of the best decisions I've ever made
Everybody's
that
gonna
I
say, yeah,
didn't do.
the best decision. I think Bomber was close into doing that too. He said.
Oh yeah. So I just held on to her, but I just kind of left her alone for a while. And yeah, you're right. I was struggling, just trying to climb up the fighter ranks. But the the what started my change in climbing the ranks was pulling three Huas in a row.
Oh man.
Um, I I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool, but do I really need three? And this was back in the day when the old Giants, so not the revamped Giants. So eventually, as you can kind of tell, I was able to farm B10 with ease using all of my Huas. And it was the runes, just being able to farm those 6-star runes, those 6-star Swift runes, especially for my Chloe. And that just turned her into, well, from nothing to a really, really good unit. And it just propelled me throughout the ranks. And from then on, it's just all about been getting better runes and just building up your units.
All right, all right. Sounds good, my man. So I'm already working through some of the units here, and I intentionally skipped a couple of them because, as you know, we gotta hit up those underrated and overlooked units. So for those that are new to the channel and new to the series, welcome. One of the things that we like to ask all of our interviewers is some of the underrated and overlooked units that get passed along. And funny enough, I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to get Mal on board because he has a unit that is definitely going to be an eye opener for some people. They may agree, they may not, but when you look at his review, I think you'll consider otherwise, depending on the units that you've been blessed with. So let's get into that first one, Foul.
Foul. Okay, let's be honest. I'm not blessed with amazing units. I've never been blessed with amazing units. I've played this game for a while. I think I've only been able to pull maybe 2 or 3 natural fives. Now, that is better than a lot of other people. So
Right, right.
I'm not, saying I am the unluckiest person in the world. But I didn't pull like a Perna. I didn't pull like a Zyros or anything. I pulled decent units. So one of the things that led me to foul was I was missing some good fire units. I was missing like a good fire tank. I had Chloe, but she serves a different purpose, and sometimes, and I didn't really want to use an Arnold. He's only limited in his use, so I was just scouring the net, just looking through the monster collection. I was like, okay, I need an HP type. I need something that's really tanky, and I need something that can actually do something with its tankiness. And it led me to Foul, the Fire Serpent. The biggest thing that led me to Foul was his base HP. As you can see, at 6 stars max level, he has 12k base HP, which is considerably quite high, especially for a natural 3-star unit.
Correct. Yeah.
And as I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So I went through and looked through his skills, and he brings such a diverse kit. I just had to build him.
Good deal.
It's just going a little bit more into detail. His first skill, which is shared with all the other serpents, with the exception of the Wind Serpent, I believe, he gets an upgrade on the Sonic Boom. But with Sonic Boom, has a chance to remove a beneficial effect. It's only a 50% chance, so you can't necessarily rely on it, but it is there. And there will be times when you are able to remove that fanatic buff and you are able to nuke that unit that the opponent thought, oh, my Chloe will protect them.
Right.
The skill that really pushed me over to the edge to build Foul right away was the second skill, Fire Blast. So first of all, the damage is based on your max HP. So the fact that he has an extremely high base HP synergizes really well with the skill. The second reason why the skill is so good is because once you max the skill, and it's very easy with Serpent, you just farm one of the scenario dungeons all day long, and
Yep.
you'll get your skill fodder. But once you max the skill, you bring the cooldown to 2 turns. That's as good as a second or third skill can get in terms of a cooldown. So you're spamming an HP damage based on your own HP skill every other turn, essentially. And there's one more effect to this skill, is that it has a chance to reduce your target's attack bar as well. So there's just so much packed into this skill. There was no reason why I shouldn't build it. And I mean, the list goes on. Foul has a third skill as well, Revenge. And again, it synergizes really well with the fact that he's going to be really tanky, as it's an AoE provoke with a fairly high chance, 75% chance, and it actually adds a 30% reflection buff for 3 turns. And again, once you max the skill, it's on a 3-turn cooldown. So essentially, your Foul will be spamming skills all day long. And the one thing I actually found really interesting with Revenge, and I don't know if it's a glitch or not, and if it's a glitch, I guess they're eventually going to fix it if Contours ever watches this video. I'm sure they do. But I'll put it out anyways, just because, if it was a glitch, someone's eventually going to find out.
Right.
If Foul is covered by a Fanatic and an opposing unit attacks Foul while he has the Revenge buff on, logically speaking, it should reflect back 0 damage because your opponent is doing 0 damage to you. But I noticed that it actually reflects damage back to the attacker, and you'll take 0 damage because of the Fanatic buff. So it's just a nice little combo that you can pair Foul up with Chloe and reduce some damage even further.
That kind of reminds me of the Wind Sylph. When a Wind Sylph tries to hit them with that third skill to absorb their attack speed on a unit that has immunity, if I remember correctly, even though if that unit has immunity, he will still get his speed buff. Which logically speaking, he shouldn't be able to do that if he wasn't able to land the buff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if again, that's a glitch or if it was designed that way, or just lazy coding by some of the developers.
I tell you, I don't know. Comment to us. What were you thinking?
But yeah, I mean, of course, like Foul has a leader skill as well. It's nothing amazing, but if you're running a team with no leader skills, hey, here's 20%, 21% more HP in the arena. Why not, right?
Yep, it's crazy. Right on. That's pretty great because I was kind of blown away when we were talking about it last night and just looking at it again. That's kind of nice. So let's take a look at the rune recommendation here. Violent Nemesis. Obviously, this is what you recommend.
Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of reruning a bunch of my units right now, especially with rune removal day that was just a couple days ago, and haven't had time to fully utilize all of my runes yet. But I put on some temporary runes on him for the time being. Since he has that AoE provoke, I would either recommend a Violent Revenge or a Violent Nemesis. Violent Revenge is good because you have more and more chances to just remove beneficial effects with Fao's first skill. It's not going to be amazing damage because it's not based on the damage isn't based on his HP like his second skill is. But I mean, it's nice to remove those buffs on your opponents that try to attack you every now and then.
Right.
And of course, since um, Fao is meant to be attacked a lot, Nemesis is also a good choice. Just bump up that attack bar whenever you take in damage. So those are both really solid choices.
Good deal. Yeah, I hope people really listen to this, especially some of our new up and comers. I've talked to many times. The strength of provoke in general, not just in a unit like this, but in general, is so underused. It's ridiculous, and being able to take away some of these units that bank on their second and third skills that basically make or break the unit, it's quite strong. It's quite strong. So I'm glad you got
Oh,
him.
for sure, yeah. And sorry, just to expand on the rune set a little bit further, you can build Fao really similar to the Fire Chimera, Rakan, or however you want to pronounce it. So, a good mixture of HP and a good mixture of crit rate and crit damage. You can either go HP, crit damage, HP, or just HP, depending on what you're really looking for. If you're looking for more damage, if you're looking for more of a tank, that really is based on what your team needs. But yeah, I mean, Fao's really versatile. He can bring out solid damage while being very solid himself. With a 12k base HP, he easily hit 40k or higher HP.
Good deal. And what are some of the numbers you've been able to pull? Have you tested it with the HP crit damage HP and
Yeah, I've actually preferred going HP just for myself, just because my runes had better substats going that way. I was still able to get a decent crit rate and crit damage. Obviously not right now, but with some of my other runes, while maintaining like over 40k HP. And with that build and with that set I had on Fao, um, on an average monster without attack buff. On an average monster with a defense debuff on them. The second skill would crit over 15 to 16k easily. And this is not including the fact that it can also decrease the attack bar, and not including the fact that it's only a 2-turn cooldown. So you get a lucky violent proc and you do it again.
right. That's
So
sick. That's so sick. Yeah. Cool. So moving on from the 3-star to the 4-star unit, we have a good group of people here that are in the intermediate end game that have been playing for months on end, and did have an opportunity to get the Arya, which is the light succubus on the HOH. Let's go ahead and get into that one, since you got quite the experience on it. Talk about your build, the importance of it, and then how you would go about it as far as recommendations for people that are watching this.
oh, for sure. I mean, Arya was a bit of a story for me. When she first came out, I still wasn't very good at the game. I mean, I was able to farm one of her, and at the time I was like, oh, she looks cool. But after everyone farmed her, it seemed like the general consensus was she wasn't that good. I mean, she had certain uses, but that was it. So I stored her away for a while. But a couple months after, I was looking for units to level, and I pulled her out, and I was like, she's a light unit. And then the more and more I looked at her skills, the more and more, especially ever since they buffed her first skill, actually with all succubuses, succubi, I think.
So goodbye, yeah.
Succubi.
That's close enough. We'll go with that.
When they gave her the ability to recover 50% attack gauge with the first skill, as long as you put them to sleep, that really made her an amazing unit.
Right.
I mean, without going into too much detail, she just provides a plethora of harmful effects in general. Her first skill can put people to sleep with a 50% chance and recover her attack bar by 50% if they do fall asleep. Her second skill inflicts HP block, and it is automatically given a 100% crit rate if the enemy is already sleeping. And of course, the third skill is an AoE debuff that increases the chances of landing a glancing hit, and it slows down their attack speed as well. So just all combined together, Arya brings a very, very good kit. And one of the things that people don't realize, because a lot of people that farm the Hall of Heroes for Arya, they're like, oh, okay, I've got it. Um, the trick to really make her shine is to max all of her skills. Um, with her third skill, if you don't max the skills, it's a 6 turn cooldown. If you max the skills, it goes down to 4 turns. So if you're running like a speed comp with maybe like a Vertihile or a Bernard, and you're able to land that first slow on the enemy team, you can essentially keep those debuffs on them as long as your Bernard and Vertihile can speed up your Arya fast enough. So 4 turns goes by pretty quickly.
Yep.
And with Strike of Rejection, the second skill, it brings the cooldown down to 3 turns when you max it. That's just again with partnered up with a good ATB boost. You're going to be keeping HP block on 1 or 2 units for the entirety of the match. So she just brings so much to the table.
Very, very cool. And of course, the leader skill is just a nice little top, icing top.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that. So let's take a look at these rune sets. You got yourself Despair Focus. That's generally what I like to run there. Um, what's your thoughts on, is there really any other set that can be, viable considering the quality of that AOE is so strong. It's a great combination for, especially with the first skill and the third skill, to utilize it as bear set. Any reason that you would consider otherwise? I mean, with such a low cool turn, maxing out, could people use a violent, or do you think they're missing out if they go to violent over despair on this one?
See, with Arya, I've actually spent a lot of time trying different rune sets with her, and this is kind of the rune set I'm playing around with right now. So far, I do like it. Obviously, I still have to max the runes on them, but just a little bit of a history as to what I've tried with Arya, what works and what doesn't. I have tried the violent route, just giving her a violent set. I gave her a bit of speed there. I did a hybrid with some attack, with some HP, with some speed, um, and it does work really well, especially if you can get a high enough accuracy. Because if you can get your first skill to sleep a lot, then you're essentially boosting yourself over and over again, kind of
Right.
like a Praha with her first skill, or I guess all the oracles. It works similarly. I mean, for her, the condition is you have to crit, but with Arya, you have to put them to sleep. Um, Pros and cons to each of them, but yeah, I mean, if you can get some of those violent procs with her first skill, you're going to be going again and again and again. I don't recommend using too much attack on her, just because you kind of want her to be tankier, because her main use is to keep laying down those debuffs. You kind of want to use her like a Tasarion. For Tasarion, you want to make him as fast as possible. You want to make him as tanky as possible, so he can keep that Oblivion buff on whoever you want to keep down, like a Perna or a Camilla or a Veramos. For me, it's mostly Veramos. Veramos is quite annoying. Uh, but yeah, no. I mean, right now I believe I'm running speed HP with a despair set on Arya. You can use violent or despair. It really is up to you. For TOA though, and I guess we can go a little bit into TOA as well because that is where Arya really shines. Despair would work better. Just because there's so many units you want to keep locked down with as much efficiency as possible.
Good deal. And so, give me a minute here while I pull up your name again. As you can see here, I had that. We always have to have an epic fail in the video. The game decided to crash on me. You gotta love it.
Oh, don't worry, it happens all the time.
Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Good deal.
Happens.
Let's go ahead. Actually, I probably should go ahead and revert back. I wanted to go ahead and get into it if it's all right with you. One of the cool things that we were talking about last night, just kind of reviewing some of the stuff, is, there's a lot of new units that are coming out, and people are, when new units come out, everyone's just like, is it good? Is it bad? And so, with the revamping of some units coming up, I kind of wanted to get into this next segment, which I want to call like the ones to watch. So, can we get into a couple of these units that you feel are the ones to watch for people? That can, take advantage of these units if they have it or if they get it in the future?
Oh yeah. Well, first thing is if you have a Freya or a Fire Still feed, hold on to it for now. I believe they mentioned that she's getting a revamp really soon. Right now, her skills don't really do her justice. She's really one of the least used sylphides around there. But hey, you never know what they're gonna do to her. Look at what they did to Fedora. I mean, still there are better units than Fedora, but he's not useless anymore. He's pretty
Correct.
viable for a lot of people that don't have Chloe's or Villageuls or a lot of those immunity units. So hold on to your Freas if you have one, and if you've already foddered it away, just pray it isn't gonna be a good revamp.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
then just sticking with fire units, one to really look out for is the fire leech. Uh, it's kind of strange, but in fact, one of my guildmates was the one that told me to check this guy out. We were actually all making fun of him online, and we're like, "No, this horrible unit. What the fuck are you doing?" and and then I watched one of his videos, his Mushbeard, and he showed off his Antares, and it was only 5 star, but he just kept stealing turns away from the enemy, and I was like, oh, he's right. You can actually do something with it, just because his passive gives you a 15% chance to get a turn when the enemy's turn is over. And you know how it is with Com to Us and RNG. A
Yeah.
15% chance is a
45.
lot higher.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? And this is on every single turn uh, for the enemy. Sorry, every single enemy turn. So you can imagine how many turns this unit can take. And then his second skill, Sinkhole, again, you can absorb the attack gauge. Again, it is a low chance, but it procs multiple times. And again, come to us RNG. Just watch his video. You'll be surprised at how many turns he was able to steal. I mean, pair this up with um, like a CC'er, an ATP booster of yourself, and your opponent is never going to get a single turn.
Boom. I like it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, going on to some of the newer units, obviously, we have to talk about Galleon, the water pirate.
Yeah, I
Uh,
love them.
the water pirate, I believe it's his third skill, is the skill that everyone would want in a support to a nuker. Off the top of my head, oh, it's right there. He boosts the attack power of all your allies, and he decreases the defense of your enemies. What more can you ask for when you're looking for a perfect setup
Yeah, yeah.
for a nuke? And this is perfect for even like an AOE nuke. And it's not even single target. I don't think. So, I mean, set that up, and you're gonna have some pretty fast clears in the arena.
Yeah.
So be careful of these galleons. I don't see him so much in defense, as opposed to he'd be more of a arena offense only unit, just because it does require some manual skill to set it up properly, and we all know the AI on Summer's War is not the best.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
And he has pretty good base speed as well. So if you do get a nice grip of speed on him, he can definitely shine here. It looks like here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Good deal.
And his leader skill, is it speed as well? I
Yep.
don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
There
for
you
guild
go.
battles.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better in Guild Wars.
For that YOLO team. Yeah.
Finish him off in
So
5 seconds.
And
Yeah.
so I know we've kind of pointed this out in previous videos, but I want to go ahead and like bring it up as well. The attack power of all allies. So for myself that has Chandra that has his damage based on max HP, the attack power buff, will that still assist him in his damage, or will that not for
Yeah.
HP based unit?
Generally speaking, attack power is very. I mean, there's been a lot of tests done by different players. Generally speaking, it does add damage to it. Definitely not as high as, let's say, if the skill was based on attack.
Right.
Uh, but generally speaking, yeah, I mean, it just gives it more damage. So feel free to use it.
Cool. Cool. Sounds good. You got another one in mind?
Off the top of my head, if we're talking about the new units, and we're not gonna get into the dark was it Mermaid and the Dark Sea Emperor, because everyone knows if you pull them, it's pretty much GG.
Right.
But let's talk about units that you can actually obtain, with somewhat success. Uh, let's stick with water. We'll talk about Poseidon, one of those new natural 5 stars. Essentially, he's the new improved version of Rod.
Gotcha.
They have very similar skill sets. I mean, if you just kind of take a look at them, I mean, attacks all of your enemies and prevents them from using their skills for 1 turn. I mean, that's like a mini Zyros right there. And then your third skill, Maelstrom, you're decreasing their attack bars. Again, it's AoE, and you slow down their attack speed as well.
That's huge.
So exactly that's and I mean, his leader skill is attack power, setting up for a stronger nuke after you've slowed them down. I mean, he's just a really good unit if you ever manage to pull him. And of course, the last new unit to really watch out for. I actually was very surprised when I fought this in the arena the other day. The Fire Mermaid, Platypus. I don't know.
Close enough.
But fire units don't usually have a lot of revivers. The 2 main ones that I would imagine people would use, if any, obviously Vanessa, number 1.
Sure.
Fire reviver, or the Fire Undine. I forgot her name right now.
The Fire Undine had the balancing one, the water one, I
something.
think. Yeah, I think the water one was the one that had the.
Oh wait, yeah, no,
Yep.
sorry, my apologies. No, just I was thinking about something else. But, anyways, back on topic here. Platy, she brings a revive to the team, and what we can kind of still say fire meta, although it is changing now. But she also has a HP based damage skill, I believe, and she just brings a lot of utility to the table. It's one of those units to really be careful of. She's not just this fragile little girl. You might want to think twice before attacking her.
Yeah, buddy. She looks like she got that same kind of thing going on with Foul in the first skill with the beneficial effect.
Oh yeah, exactly. And the damage is based on her max HP as well, so she'll be able to deal out a fair amount of damage.
Good deal.
Yeah.
And then of course the Burning Hearts. It looks like it's a heal. Or sorry, let me take that back.
It's like a mini single target Zyros nuke again.
Gotcha.
So yeah, she brings so much to the table. So be happy if you pull her in. Don't fodder her away.
Cool. Right on. So that's quite a few units to look out for. Hopefully, people are get an opportunity to get some of these 4 stars. Obviously, Poseidon probably won't be on everybody's list or whatnot, but it's definitely ones to watch. If you see that in the arena or Guild Wars, beware. It's about to go down.
Sure.
One of the next topics I kind of wanted to get into as we were talking was some of the glory shot buildings and some of the new Guild War buildings. So I kind of wanted to touch on, maybe because there's so many out there, what do you consider your top 3 arena glory shot buildings that people should focus on, and then in essence as well the new buildings, what should focus on there as well?
Yeah, sure. I mean, especially this holds true for some of our newer players and maybe some people that are trying to climb into Guardian or are struggling in the fighter ranks. We all know by now that runes make the difference between whether you're in Guardian or whether you're stuck in Fighter or whether you're stuck in Conqueror. But another big reason why Guardian players consistently stay in Guardian rank is because of their buildings. Their buildings are all leveled up, and this takes a tremendous amount of time. I believe someone on the forums or Reddit calculated if you don't use any refreshes, it would take you 2 years to max all of your buildings. So it's important to start early and keep it up. Right. Now, going back to what you were saying about obviously we can't max everything out right away, so we got to have our top 2, top 3 buildings to start off with. For me, and I think this holds true for a lot of other people as well, the first one to really max out would be the Sky Tribe Totem, which is the one that increases speed. And at level 10, it gives you a plus 15% speed increase.
Yeah.
That's insane, especially if you're in the higher end arena and the difference is one speed between, let's say, your Chloe's or between some of your other units that you need to go first. This totem makes that difference. So definitely get that first, max it out. I know it costs a lot. I believe it's like 2,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
2,040
Uh,
glory points
uh,
to get it to level 10.
that's the beauty of doing this. We can always put myself on blast and show people that even though I've been playing the game for a year, I still have been stubborn as far as hitting that button for those 2,000 glory points to get that 1%. But the 1% is what's going to take me to the top, so I better do it.
You'll get there. You'll get
I
there.
get there. I get there.
Exactly. The second one I would really focus on maxing out is the Crystal Altar. Crystal Altar is the one that boosts your HP, and at level 10, it gives you 20% HP. Again, that's huge. That is like a really good substat on a rune. That's a good, you know, 2 to 3k HP for a lot of units. And again, that could be the difference between getting nuked in one hit or surviving and then countering and winning that match.
Right, and so let me cut you off right there. So we make it clear, since we do have some people that are new to the game, the percentages that these boost, they're based on the base stats of the unit. They're not the total stats, so they don't get it right. So if you got somebody that has a base HP of 10,000, it's essentially going to give them 2,000 hit points, at max, or 4,000. Fail. I can't count. I can't count. Right?
It's okay, no one's judging here.
No one's judging.
But yeah, no, that's a good point to bring up because you're gonna have someone that gets this tower and maybe their combined HP will be 30k and they're like, oh, how come I'm not getting 10k HP from
Right.
this? And we would all want that, but unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And but yeah, the third tower I would definitely max. Well, top three would be the Fallen Ancient Guardian, which gives you crit damage. At level 10, I see you've maxed that out.
Yes, I
Good
did.
job.
Right. Yay!
25% crit damage. And correct me if I'm wrong, but crit damage multiplier applies differently from your attack and whatnot. So having extra crit damage, especially as a percentage, is a huge boost to damage.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, so if max this over the attack percent tower, I don't even know what it's called. If you're looking for more damage in your nukers, just because you're gonna get much more of a damage boost from Fallen Ancient Guardian as opposed to the other towers.
Yeah, and it's relatively inexpensive when related to like the Crystal Tower and the Speed Tower. It's not too bad at all.
Yeah, it's I believe 1,200 glory points for level 10.
Yeah,
So compared to 2,040 for the speed totem, I mean it's a steal. But you got to get them all.
Yep, it's like
So
Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Yeah.
at least there's not like 700 towers for you to max. Just a good, I think, 10 or 12. Now, just going on to guild buildings. They were recently released, or I guess they're flags. There's only 4, and the 2 that I would go for first, if any, would be the Flag of Rage and the Flag of Hope. Again,
Ooh,
it's good job.
This is
See,
before
you're
everyone's
on the
gonna
right
be like,
track.
oh yeah, no, everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, they probably talked, bro. Like, no, we didn't talk about this. I got this, and so I was like, yeah, those to me look like the number 2. So yeah, that wasn't planned, people. Don't laugh at it.
No, but yeah, for sure. Again, Flag of Rage is crit damage, I think, and Flag of Hope is HP percentage. So just like what we said earlier, really important stats to kind of max out on. And yeah, if you've got the spare guild points, if you've got the Ifrit that you want, or you've collected them all already, or you've got spare points after getting those legendary scrolls, which I believe everyone is getting now, just
Yep.
because a chance for more nat fives. Why not? Nice little bonus there. But yeah, all those leftover points, put them in these flags because they're gonna make a difference.
Gotcha. And then with regards to the arena that I forgot to mention there, as far like you said, it takes an extremely long time to collect this stuff. So, for those that are, obviously, whether those that are new to the game, they're going to have a little different aspect when coming into this. But can you kind of get into your strategy when it comes to farming the glory points? Because of course, there's still people that are in the Conquer 2, Conquer 3 ranks that really don't have any kind of rhyme or rhythm to them. And believe it or not, there is a nice one out there that can do you good as far as trying to get the most amount of points possible.
Oh, for sure. I mean, let's be honest. The game itself consumes a lot of time, and I know a lot of you um, only keep playing this game just because there is that auto function, and a lot of you don't have time to sit there and do 10 arena matches whenever the wings refresh, and that's kind of the dilemma I had too. I don't want to be sitting in front of my phone all day going through and burning each wing, but it's important to go through and burn each wing just so you can collect as many glory points as you can. So in terms of glory farming, this is more for the people that have a good set of units. They have their core units. They're able to clear most of the content. A general strategy is after reset on Monday, just bring your defense down. Put up. You can put up a completely dummy defense and drop your rank down a bit, or you can put up sort of a semi defense where some people will be able to beat it and some people can't. And you want to hover around a couple of ranks below where you stand, just so you have the ability to clear your lists, get more wings. And the important thing is to be able to do this while you're on auto. Just because, again, the whole point of this is because we don't all have that much time to sit in front of our phones. A good strategy that I always use is, I put up a semi tougher defense or something that seemingly looks easy to beat and, bring some people to attack me. I drop my rank down to maybe about Conqueror 1, Conqueror 2 throughout the week, as you can see earlier when he was going to my account on his friends list. And
Yeah,
yeah,
such a
that's
slacker, slacker, bro, slacker.
it's a comfortable area, so where you can still farm max glory points while still maintaining the rank. And for me personally, I usually run a team of Veramos, Chloe, Darian, and Verdihile. And for me, this team does really, really well. And against a lot of the common defenses I see in the arena, things slower stall teams are my biggest targets. People that are running, Veramos, Chloe, Briand, and like a Belladion. They don't really have that much attack power, but they put it up there because it's a stall team and people usually avoid it. But I like attacking those teams with my kind of auto arena team throughout the week, just because my Verdi Hile provides so much ATP boosting that the teams that I face, these stall teams, they don't really have a chance to retaliate. And my Darian will just proc a defense buff, or sorry, defense debuff on Veramos, just because of the weakness attribute thing. And my Verdi Hile will just go ham and keep boosting the ATP booster, and Veramos can't keep up with the healing. And once Veramos is down, it's game over. And again,
Right.
this is all based on just autoing the team. And this isn't I'm not trying to be derogatory to anyone running a stall team or any team in arena, but it's just more of a convenience for me. I
Sure.
can't sit there and keep manually controlling because, well, we all have lives, right?
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Alrighty. And so, with regards to the next topic, this is my favorite one. I know you're getting excited. Epic fail. Everyone knows the guild. at least the ones that are watching this, we embrace failures in every aspect. I already dropped my failure midway throughout the video, but I need for the viewers here. We need a good laugh. So give me your biggest epic fail when it comes to this game. What'd you do?
Oh yeah. Well, we all know one of the most popular ways to clear out, since we're on the topic of arena right now, clear out these defenses is using a double Lucian build. So back when I was starting out, I got lucky with a couple of pulls. I got a fair amount of good Nat fours, and within that batch of Nat fours, I pulled Winperiette, so Sophia, and I did pull two Jokers of the Wind type. So back then, I was like, oh, what am I going to do with all these Wind attackers? I don't need all of them. And so I played around with all of them, and at the time, I don't know what I was thinking, or maybe I just had one rune and one didn't, but I came to the conclusion that Sophia was the ultimate Wind nuke, and I don't need anyone else ever again, and I ended up foddering both of my Lucians.
Both Lucians.
Both.
Both Lucians. I thought you just said one, man. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I pulled.
Oh
Pulled two.
no. I think I'm gonna
To
throw up.
this,
Oh man.
to this day, I have yet to pull another Wind Joker,
Oh
and
man. God.
every single time I see a lightning flash, I'm like, "Come on, Lucian! I need an Lucian back." And
Well,
no.
that might be the biggest one we've had. Ooh. That is crazy.
I mean, throughout the, I mean, I have pulled a Wind Chimera now. I've pulled, he does, make up for a lot of that now. He does bring some decent attack, but just, Lucian with its ignore AoE defense,
Yeah, it's hard to beat.
it's really hard to beat. But I think there's a special summoning stone batch with Wind Joker soon. So
Yep. I think it's coming up in 1 to 2 weeks here, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. Again, though, that's pretty crazy. Hopefully, you do get a Lucian. I hope you do.
yeah, praying. Me too.
Yeah. So, how about with regards to some of the shout outs that I'd love to do at the very end of our series? You got anybody that you want to kind of give a praise to or whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. First shout out goes to Yesel, just for inviting me into the guild in the first place, making me a part of Exodus and its community. Pretty much one of the best things that's ever happened to me in this game. Without being introduced to Exodus, my world would have been a lot narrower, and I probably would have quit Summoner's War already, because it's all about playing with your friends, right?
Right.
And within the guild, my vice guild leader right now, Draythin, he's just on top of the ball when I'm too lazy to start a guild battle, or I'm like too drunk, or I forget. He's just there to pick up my slack. So shout out to you, thanks a lot. And of course, the core members of Exodus. You've got Val, Ita, Sylph, Nihome. I mean Div. I'm butchering all of your names, by the way. But Slapixie, Raya, Osho. I mean, the list goes on. And of course, Big J. Funny little thing about Big J. He's one of our big hitters in our guild, and I think he lives somewhere in Asia. And a lot of the times he'll find a unit, he'll summon a new unit and send a picture, like a screenshot online, and he'll be like, "Oh guys, I just pulled this," and we're like, "Okay, that's cool." And then he'll just go silent for a while, and he'll come back maybe like the next day, and he'll send another screenshot, and it's like 6-starred, fully awakened, fully ruined, and we're like, what did you do?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, and I mean, he just put so much effort into it, and I learned a lot from him, so big shout out to him as well. And the rest of the Exodus members, sorry if I didn't mention your name. There's so many of you, and each and every one of you, new and old, you make Exodus the way it is. So thank you to all of you. And lastly, without naming every single person, just summonerswarforum.net. This is kind of where Exodus hangs out now. It's a newer forum. It's run by actually a lot of members of the guild Fallen Blossom, another great guild. If you get a chance to see them or hit them up. But yeah, I mean, they started this forum a while back, and I joined them maybe a couple of months ago, and it's a quality website.
Yeah.
They bring so much to the table. As you can see, I write some of the articles on there. A lot of the Fallen Blossom members write articles for them as well. But yeah, I mean, if you're starting out, or if you're looking for to ask questions, or you just want a place to hang out, they've got a really active chat. Come check this place out. Very helpful, very friendly people. Say hi, and you won't regret it. It's pretty much the forum we uh, all migrated to after App Invasion kind of died out.
Yeah.
So yeah, check them out.
Pretty darn cool, and I love it because real quick too, to kind of finish off with the as far as giving the shout out to Clan Exodus, I want to give one quick name drop for Ida as well. Ida was one of the first few people that really hit me home with the concept of the violent versus swift, and why violence is so important. He was actually the reason why I made one of my critical thinking episodes. So shout out to him and everybody else on the Clan Exodus board that helped, kind of assemble all that information that we utilize for some of our videos. So definitely want to give credit where credit is due. And a lot of my critical thinking concepts and philosophies were based off of their knowledge and experience. As at that time, they had way more experience than I do. So real good shout out to them there. Cool. And then, again, guys, I'll do a quick name drop again for Summoners War. The chat, just the factor of being able to chat online, and then having the ability to watch all the streams. If you're a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, you can set up your stream here. You can set up your, provide your videos for the media here. It's really really cool. I really enjoy it. So definitely get involved here. A lot of time and effort has been put into this website, and I really want to see it grow. So cool. Do you have anybody?
Sure.
Do you have anybody that you want to go ahead and call out that you think that would be valuable to this Educate and Dominate series that would be great, for future episodes?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, first guy I want to call out, Pug, from Aftermath. I mean, he was kind of the person that brought the top guilds in global together in the first place, just to discuss ideas, just hang out online. He has a wealth of knowledge, as well as his vice Goon. He's always top 10, top 20, top 30 in the arena. They know what they're doing, so hey, come out here, spread some knowledge. And of course, Run Fasta, the leader of Shadowvar, always number 1 or 2 guild in Guild Wars week after week. He actually did an interview with one of the guys on the summonerswarforum.net recently too. So hey, just kind of bring that knowledge in video format with Childish here. And last one I gotta say is Revark, leader of Zodiac. This guy is, we nickname him Khaleesi because he has 5 dragons. He has 3 Zyroses, he has a Varad, and he has a Jameer. So if that is not Khaleesi, I don't know what is.
Right.
So, get your butt up here. Come spread some knowledge. Maybe spread some luck too.
Yeah, we
all
need that. Shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, and everyone else, everyone that I've communicated with, chatted with. Yeah, I mean, if you think, you want to help out, join the forum or contact one of us. It's just a way to go. The more people we get to participate in the community, which is Summoners War, the more popular it'll get. It just means more content for us and a better time for everyone.
Yeah, for sure. And so we'll go ahead and conclude the episode right here. I want to just thank you so much for your time. I know that we spent quite a few hours between today and yesterday just kind of going over stuff. So I really do appreciate the time and effort you put into this. I can tell you right now, people are going to love this episode, and I can't wait for the future ones with the people that you called out with. So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you contacted me. I'm glad to be here, and good luck with everything too.
Good deal. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up, guys. It's your boy Childish and Mal with Childish Plays checking out. Take care. We will see you next time. I'm out.